The idea of what I got to do just makes me tired. But we're going to get it done. In this box is some HP switchers. And I've got to unpack all of them. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. And there's five. Now that's as many as I need for my first project. But here's the thing. There's 9 more. And that's still not enough. That was a lot of fun. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I've got to modify 25 of these modules. I have a 500 amp power supply. I got to build for one friend in Colorado. And then I've got to build the most basic 2000 amp supply that I can come up with. Why do I need to build the basic 2000 amp power supply? Might have something to do with that 96 pill. It might have something to do with the guy that owns the 96 pill trying to buy Megalodon here. The big boy that sits down here underneath the workbench. He watched me run that amp on power supply. He goes, oh, I might just need me one of them. I said, okay. So, needless to say, it's time. Both of these power supplies are going to be very basic. Neither one of them wanted amp meters. Neither one of them gave a shit about voltmeter. They wanted an on-off switch and go. To wit, I went, no problem. We're going to set everything at 15 volts. That's where it's going to be. We're going to use 9K on the crowbar protection. That's where that's going to be. So needless to say, you all have watched this happen over and over and over again. I don't need to show it again on video. I really don't. If you're interested in how we modify these or what the steps are, you can go look up BBI 1000 amp power supply with the HP modules on Google. You can do it yourself. Don't text me and say, hey, can you send me the link? No, do it yourself, please. It's okay. The internet's there. It's you can do a search more than, mature seduce or whatever the thing you're into, or girls bass fishing in G-string underwear. You can use it to look up other things, believe it or not. Also did a whole video dedicated on how to modify these specifically and showing how to do that. Also showed how to modify these once again in the 2500 amp power supply build video. So I don't think I need to show that again here. What I'm going to do is sit down for the next day. I bet you I get most of these done tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if I get most of these done tonight. I hate this part of the job. This is why I tell people, no, I don't build power supplies. No, I don't build power supplies. No, I don't build power supplies. I hate doing this, just for the record. This is mind-numbingly painful to me. There are plenty of guys out there that are building with these. These are good little switchers. Kind of on the fence with some guys. Not me. I'm 100% committed, and I've got an awful lot of stuff out there running with them in it. So that being said, I need to talk less, do more, and get job done. So on that note, when we return, all of these will be modified and set at 15 volts. Well, that mindless torture is over. So all 25 supplies have been modified. The other 20 will be in a separate video on a separate project. So we've prepped up our Timber Reaper custom brackets. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. Got all the brackets prepped up. Cabinet all prepped up. Our breaker installed, our strain relief installed, our distribution bus installed, our red fiberglass installed, the back of the cabinet punched out with a hydraulic punch. Yeah, so all I got to do is put these in there and wire the thing. Drill a couple holes in the fiberglass, go get some hardware over at the get in place, and yeah, hook up 5 power cords, splice them in, hook up a plug, solder some stuff, talk about some more stuff, reasons, ideas, motivations, and we're done, right? All right, well, this is where we're at. I wanted to bring you up to speed and say, hey, this is what we've got going on. So easy peasy, it's all downhill from here. 4 feet, 2 fans, and a bunch of hardware later, and we'll be done. Well, we're clicking right along here. About the only thing I got left to do is to tie all the supplies together for the on-off switch, and hook in the 30 amp breaker, hook in the 10 gauge wire that needs to feed this thing. I mean, 6 amps a piece, roughly, so 30 amps total, 30 amp breaker, pretty simple. Yeah, and then we're ready to test it for the most part. Put the vinyl on it, put a fan or 2 on it, that kind of thing, but that's all simple stuff. Come find out I'm at 120 millimeter 12 volt fans, so they'll be here tomorrow. So the only thing I got to do tonight is get the power wire hooked up. I am going to put a voltmeter on the front of this as kind of as an afterthought. It's just the guy doesn't like it. He can literally rip it right off the front of the thing and throw it in the F-it bucket. I'm going to give him the little plug that goes in the hole up here in the front, and he'll be good to go. But yeah, moseying right along. This is not taking all that much time today, surprisingly enough. Just think, I get to do this times 20. Tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Yeah. All right, so power wire's hooked up. Everything's hooked up. Bought a frickin' yaw. Let's bring the 1000 amp carbon pile on. This is our amps, by the way, and our volts. So let's see here. There's 60, 70, 200, 100 or 14.9 volts at 200. There's 300. There's 500 amps at 14.5. Holding 500 amps, 14.5. There's 685 is the max that this power supply can put out. So I was asked to build a 500 amp power supply. And it does 680 amps on a peak. Let's get it up around 500. Let's look at the voltage again. 500 amps, 14.56. Winning. Hardcore winning. Done. All right. So, it makes me super stoked. Most of the noise that you're hearing is from this thing's cooling fans, by the way. This thing runs as silent as a whisper. No noise. But in the same breath, .680 amps, but 500, 14.5, 400 continuous here, 450 continuous. God, I love these things. These things kick ass. Okay, well, I haven't eaten anything today, and I'm done for the night. It's like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. I'm done. Be back tomorrow to put the lid on it, wrap this thing up, put the vinyl on it. It's out of here. It's ready to go to Colorado. I will see you guys tomorrow. I know that voltmeter on the front is a little hokey. He didn't want a voltmeter. I just put it on there so I could. Just had it sitting around here, so if he doesn't like it, he's more than welcome to remove it. I'm going to send him the little plastic plug that goes in the front of the amplifier. I just thought it was cute so he could at least see what he's doing for voltage. We did the little bit bigger fans on these. There's quite a few guys that are running these now, and the number one thing I'm hearing come from people is that they're kind of overtaxing the supplies and they're getting a little bit hot, and the fans go into what they commonly refer to as crackhead mode. Well, that means that the power supplies are getting too hot and there's not enough airflow. The bottom line. So, but this is what it is. This cannot be wired 110. This has to be run on a 220 outlet. You cannot get 500 amps out of these supplies on 110 volts. It'll never happen. The power supplies do 80 amps on 110 volts, like I've said since the very beginning in every single YouTube video. 220, that's when you get that higher amp rating. But as we've shown here on video, the max is 680 amps out of this supply. But your voltage is suffering quite heavily. As we all know, the higher you go in voltage, you have to sacrifice a little bit in amperage. So the fact that we're able to maintain 14.5 at 500 amps, pretty impressive in my mind, okay? You guys that are watching this for the first time or watching me build one of these for the first time, understand that these switch modules, you have to pay attention to the rating that's on the module. You know, it's 1200 watts, but they only can get that rating when it's on the 220 volt side. And you've got a big enough outlet feeding it. This 500 amp supply takes 30 amps. Period. Can't run it on mama's 20 amp outlet for the dryer. You need a real outlet for this thing, so just keep that in mind. Well, gentlemen, we're done. I've got to get this off my workbench. I got to get ready to send it off and get rid of it. It's off to Colorado. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you to every single one of you guys. One more major project to go. I'm off to go jump onto another 2,000 amp supply, and this is going to be the last one I ever built. I got this major one I got to build, and then I've got another major one I got to build for an order from last year, but I am not building anymore. Don't call me looking for a supply. I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. The only reason I came across these HP supplies is because, well, I took an order and then I couldn't get the switch modules that we used to get, and I had to find something to fill that gap, and I found something that was better than what we were currently using. So hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I'm off to go do some other stuff with some other things in another place and in another time. Gentlemen, big shout out to Penna, Siglant, XS, Bird, MechMan, Coaxial Dynamics. Let's give praise and thanks to Jesus for these people here in the Patreon group. They're the reason that you guys have gotten to watch this entire video with no ad breaks in the middle of it. Which those of you that are watching it from your tablets or your phones or whatever that aren't running ad blocking software or aren't YouTube members, it's about making it free and letting people enjoy content. Like I said, I work on the one-to-one basis. What I mean by that is I produce the content and then I come to you guys and say, hey, do you want to help support? And this is the best way to help support me. We will be, 2 months from now, doing another huge run of t-shirts, another huge run of hats, and I'm thinking I'm going to do a run of hoodie sweatshirts. So we'll come to that and cross that bridge when I get home. On that note, gentlemen, I say thank you. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope you have a great rest of whatever your day is, and I'm on to my next project. I'll see you. Click, click.